So we are back with the final segment. We usually do like other topics, but we're not doing any other topics today. We're just doing this. We're taking over just in one thing.
Yeah.
So, but we are going to talk about kind acts because I think it grounds us when we have to deal with all these other things, is to remember the good things that happened. So, what are some of the good things that have happened to you in the past week or so? I'll let you think.
Yeah.
And I'm going to jump in. So I was in New York last week participating in the UN conference on the status of women and girls, and was there with other fellow Afro-Latinas speaking up against the issues that are affecting women in their countries. There were sisters from Brazil, Nicaragua, Santo Domingo, Honduras, and who else was that? Honduras, Nicaragua, Brazil, Santo Domingo, and myself, Panama, and diaspora. And it was a wonderful experience because it was the kind act about that is that no matter where any woman was from, when she saw you as a sister. She saw you as a fellow woman. And then I had a wonderful panel of women of African descent with women from Liberia, Nigeria, Jamaica, the U.S., Puerto Rico, and me, Panama. And it was wonderful. And it was interesting because when I walked up to the podium and said something in Spanish, at the end, one of the sisters was like, "But you're dressed so African and you spoke in Spanish." And I was like, "Because I'm of African descent." So, people don't realize that when you embrace it fully. And it's I don't know when to cut that off. There's no such thing for me. So that was a kind act. And then as I shared, I had a kind act with my friend Gigi, who I went to this concert with, which was wonderful because I love me some soul music. And then yesterday, my other kind act was from my colleague and friend Jason, who was really into music, really has this wonderful Nubian black power kind of thing to him. And he sent me this tune that, is just old jazz, old stuff that I really liked. And then my friend Marco Belizer, Dr. Marco Belizer, who was a friend from home, today sent me the link to Marta and Janvier's interview in New York around the same issue, and also the issue around the Dominican Republic. And he's always been supportive and very present for me. So those are some of my kind acts. And then, I have my sister who always got my back. She was at my event and is always fully present. And my dear friend Marta and Michelle, who I saw yesterday at the memorial for my dear friend and colleague Mauricia Alvarez, who passed away, and we all came together at Margarita Alvarez's house to celebrate her, and that was wonderful to be in that setting. So it was kind that we don't pause enough to have these moments with each other. So what are some of the
last week I went to New York to celebrate one of my good friend, African American friend that I've known for 45 years.
Oh wow.
Her birthday, and all of us got together, and it was so joyful. And the part that was joyful, our children grew up together, and they're grown women with children and husbands now. And we all were there, and we were just celebrating the moment, just enjoying that. And the prelude to that kind act was one of my other friends. She and her husband picked me up from Boston and took me to New York and brought me back. And they were so attentive, Charlene and Jay. They were so attentive, do you need anything? We don't get to see that a lot.
Exactly.
But it just to show that we teach our children things, and sometimes we think that they don't pay attention, but they paid attention. So that was last weekend. Now, last weekend also was National Women and Girls Day. HIV. And I saw a lot of the women from the Women of Color Round Table. And it was so good to hug them, and we hugged, and it's just like
we were a powerful space.
It was just so wonderful. And to round that off today, I had a conversation with my sons. They both made me grandmother. I have 4 grandchildren now. 4, yes, and 1 on the way. So that's 5. And I was just explaining to them how important it is for me to spend time with my grandchildren because I need them to know who I am, not just in name, but in spirit and soul. And at the end of the conversation, my cousin had called my oldest son, and her birthday is the end of this month. And she said she was going to the Cayman Islands. So then my son said to me, as I'm speaking to him about this grandmother thing, he said, "Well, you want to go to Cayman Island?" I said, "Yes." I said, "But I have to ask your brother to book the thing." My other son came in. Well, I'm on the phone. My younger son came in and he's telling me about his daughter and Maya will spend more time with her. And it just came full circle because I was feeling a little down in the past because I haven't spent enough time with them. And then the both of them on the phone and they just they're just wonderful.
Yes. So those are good
Yes,
moments.
I felt my heart was light after they got through with me.
Wonderful.
So I had 2 good weeks.
Good. I think it's important because of the adversity. Oh, and one of my kind acts was actually yesterday sitting with 2 of my dear mentors, with Tony and Askia, and just having that moment. Every time I'm with them, I feel like, oh, I can do this. Just like when I'm with Michelle and Marta, I can do. I know that it lifts me up.
Yeah.
So we need those moments in dealing with all the stuff that we have dealt with. So I hope you have found this show interesting and that you've gotten something out of the Afro
and I can't forget my daughter-in-law. She did call me to tell me she's expecting another baby.
Oh, well.
And that just put the frosting on the cake. And we had a very long conversation. So things are moving.
Okay. So that's good. There's good things happening all around in the midst of the madness.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of madness.
Exactly.
So I hope that you tuned in today, that you got something out of Rhoda's Afro-Latina experience and my Afro-Latina experience, and that we can hope, because for us it's an ongoing thing that we've been wanting to engage in this conversation and not wait till when we are in crisis or when we have incidents like this to then talk about it.
Exactly.
That we need to have ongoing spaces like Encuentro Diaspora Afro, like the Caribbean Cultural Center, like the Afro-Latino Project, that like sisters like Rosa Clemente, like sisters like John Pierre, like sisters like Manuel Arciniega, sisters like Marie Nieves Alma, though, these are women that are willing to engage in these conversations. Reach out to us.
Yes.
Reach out to us and allow us to engage with you and teach you and have you hear how and what this experience is like. So to all the Latinos out there, it's time. It's past the time.
It is.
To all the Afro-Latinos out there, much love, much admiration, much respect, because the shoes we walk in is not an easy shoe to foot into, but it's a proud one to have.
Right.
So, con mucho orgullo, mucho amor y mucho respeto a todos los afrodescendientes, y espero que sigamos en esta conversación. And we will continue in this conversation because it's not just about today. It's ongoing.
It's ongoing.
So we hope you will tune in to next week's Soulful Afro show. I'm not sure what I'll be talking about, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this hour with us in talking about the soulful happenings in our community. And I'm leaving you with Gary Bart's NTU Troop's drinking song that was shared with me with my colleague and friend Jason Boyd.
All right, push music.